There are two kinds of people in this world. Either you're doing things you know you shouldn't, or you're not doing things you know you should. Guess what? We're both. Hi, I'm Marcy Barker, life and business coach, aka your loving kick in the pants. This podcast is here to help you become accountable with aligned action and become boss-minded while growing a business without sacrificing what matters most. Let's dive in. Good morning, my beautiful people. I'm here to give you another fantastic podcast episode. And I say fantastic because I'm just saying the words that you guys say. And I am sincerely appreciative of the feedback that I get from creating this podcast and creating this message for you, because somebody asked in a Facebook group, why do you share your message on social media? And I straight up said, because I like to talk. And if I think about the reason why I started sharing myself on social media years ago when it became a thing, it was because I have a lot to say. I like to talk. And do you remember how Facebook used to have the prompt on your wall of like, what's on your mind? And people would share stupid stuff like, I'm thinking about popcorn right now, or thinking about that thing I said that I can't go back to, and now I think about it all night. It's just kind of silly. But social media has been a great way to grow in all aspects of my life. And so sharing this podcast is just another way that I get to enjoy talking, but I'm also super grateful for the impact that it's had on you guys. And today I just want to share this. I'm getting on my pet peeves a little bit, okay? Because when I sat down to do this podcast, I was thinking, you know what? I really wish that people would stop cold DMing me for stuff. Like, I get really, really tired of just people being stupid. And I say they're being stupid because they're not taking any time to build a genuine connection. And that's annoying. It's annoying because social media has the power to build best friendships, the best collaborations, the best opportunities. Like, social media has all of the opportunities, and people are ruining it by being stupid. Okay, so I'm going to just share a couple of experiences that help you understand why I'm salty about this. But also, I know that you can relate to this, because if you are using social media to grow your business, I can guarantee you have felt the same way when people message you stupid stuff, and it just wastes your time. The other reason I want to share this is because I'm not going to leave you hanging. As a life and business coach, I'm going to give you different tips that you can use so that you never have to fall into the trap of being a stupid person and sending people cold DMs. Now, if you are one of those people who are like, cold DM works, like that works for me. It's part of my business model. My upline taught me, or that's how I like to connect. It's like, this is your opportunity to keep listening and to expand your mind, or I'm giving you full permission if you're like, this episode's not for me because Marcy's totally going to hate on cold DMing people. That is your choice right now, but I hope that if you continue to listen to this, then you are getting an idea of how a lot of people feel when you cold DM them asking for something. So let's start this off with a hot take, okay? I am actually going to play you guys a message that somebody sent me, okay? This is a voice message, which voice messages I think are great because they get attention and people are going to listen to them because they can't really preview what they're going to say. But let me just pull this up for you, and I want to make sure that I start the message from the beginning.
Hi, Marcy. This is Rosa. I came across your name within a Utah business and networking group, and I'm reaching out to you. I don't know what state you're from, but I have a roofing company out here in Utah County, and I am contacting you for some help to ask you if you happen to know anybody within Utah that is looking to get any roofing services done onto their properties, whether it's a replacement, new install, or even a repair. As a thank you to you, we're always happy to give out a gift card or even a cash bonus as a referral. Whether you do happen to know somebody or not, I definitely appreciate you just listening to this message. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Okay, everybody, I want to apologize for wasting 47 seconds of your life by listening to that, because that's what I did. I wasted 47 seconds of my life, but I also was like, where did this person find me? Because you're like, I don't even know what state you're in. It's like, but you found me in a business group. So I went into the business group that I'm a part of the most in Utah, and she's not even in the group. So I'm like, what group did she find me in? And I also was going to message that admin of that group and be like, hey, this person's cold DMing and it's just very stupid. Nobody should be doing this. And I want you to know somebody in your group is just doing this. Me and this person have 0 friends in common. Okay. So I guess I don't even need to blur out her name. Her name is Rosa. I don't have to worry about this because you don't have any friends named Rosa. And I don't have any friends named Rosa that are messaging me. But the reason why I was so turned off by this is because she took the opportunity to develop a good relationship by sending a voice message, but she straight up came into my inbox and pitched me about her company and admitted that she knows nothing about me. Nothing about me. So guess what I did, friends? I'm not ashamed to admit it. I straight up blocked her. Block. And that was me taking the best action after I spent, 5-10 minutes deciding if I should respond to her and be like, you're stupid. Or like, I am so offended that you would take the time to send me a message and know nothing about me. Like, there was just a lot of things that I was like, I could have responded to this, but the best choice that I made in the moment was I'm just going to block and move on. But the reason why I'm sharing this is because this is not an isolated event, okay? I have had people come to my events. This one's a little bit hard because it's a little bit closer to home, because I know a lot of people listening to my podcast, you guys experience this, because I had somebody come to my event, and after my event was over, somebody went in and messaged every single person on the roster of the event. And it's like, how did she know who attended the event? Well, because I'm really good at creating community. I had a bio wall. There was an event set up. She could come and see everybody's information, like their name, who they are, what they do for business. It's all on the wall for people to connect. But here's where things went bad, is that I was having a retreat at my house, and we're all sitting around the table working on the Community to Cash Challenge, writing posts. And then all of a sudden, multiple people at the same time get a message that's like, what was your favorite part of the event? I want to connect with you. And they were like, that's weird. I don't really know her. It just felt fishy. And then to know that the same message was copied and pasted to everybody, it gave off a bad vibe. And because it was my event, I was like, I'm going to message this person and let her know that that's not really a good practice, because here's the way it was perceived and here's the way it was received. And another crazy thing that just kind of put it over the top is that somebody else who was supposed to be at the event wasn't at the event, and she still got a message of like, hey, it was so good to connect. What was your favorite part of the event? And this person's like, I wasn't even there. So for her to pretend like we did connect, like, that's just odd. So I did talk with this person, and she was just like, well, that's just how I do things. And it's like, okay, well, I just want you to know, like, if it's received in a bad way, and if this is my community, my group, like, I'm going to be keeping tabs on that, because that's just a practice I don't agree with. Okay. So last message I want to share with you is somebody reached out to me, and I found this message in my spam folder. So thankfully Facebook does give us some of that filter, but I had to check my messages looking for a new friend. We connected in person. She sent me a message. It was in my spam folder. So this person said, hey, Marcy, looks like you're smashing it. Crown emoji. I have to ask, ... Have you had PR before? I mean, real publicity on TV, magazines, podcasts, etc., not dodgy smoke and mirrors type stuff. And in my brain, I was like, you mean smoke and mirrors like this message right now? But I said, no, thank you. And then she messaged me again. Oh, really? That's interesting. You could be great. You could be at a great stage for it. Is sharing your message regularly on TV, podcasts, radio, magazines, and other press, and also impacting people, something you might be interested in? And I said, no, thanks. And she said, no probs. And it's like, okay, thank you for getting the hint. But, you go to this person's profile and you're like, we don't have anything in common. And their picture on their profile is like, I help coaches make multiple 6 figures. And it's like, this cold DM, like, yeah, sure, maybe that works for you. But if you guys are listening to this, you want a loving kick in the pants, I'm going to share with you different ways that you can have solid connections and reach out to people and grow your business without sending stupid cold DMs. Because for one, I guess this is, you guys just have to take it or leave it. If this works for you, I'm not going to stop you. But I have had directors of direct sales companies, people who have over 1,000 people on their downline, still cold DM me. And I'm like, does that work for you guys? And they're like, yeah, it does. And I'm like, okay, well, I just want you guys to know, like, it puts me off big time. And so let's dive right into this, okay? First off, just take a deep breath. I want you guys to know I give you permission to have all of your opinions, just like you're giving me permission to have my opinions. And this is how we will find common ground in doing what works for us, okay? But at the end of the day, I want you to grow a sustainable business, and cold DMing people can be just a numbers game, but it also means that you're putting really great benefits of social media out the window. Like, you have the opportunity to build really strong connections by just being a more genuine person instead of playing a numbers game. Hey, my beautiful people. If you're loving these episodes, you'll want the full experience. I've bundled both of my books, The Accountability Code and Becoming Boss Minded, into one powerful package. You'll get instant access to the audiobooks and ebooks so you can learn and grow anytime, anywhere. Head to bossminded.com and grab the book bundle now. It's the perfect way to stay inspired between episodes. All right, let's dive back in. So, very first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to go down this list of different things I put together. And again, take it or leave it. I want you to remember the hand in the sand mentality of like, I'm going to give you a whole bucket of sand. And when you pick up sand, there's going to be one important piece that stays in the middle of your palm, and the rest of it, you just got to let it fall. Let it fall. It's not right for you at this time. It's not what you want. That's totally fine, because we're all going to grow in different ways. But the whole purpose of this podcast is please don't send stupid cold DMs. Okay. Now, with the tips that I'm going to share with you, I'm not saying that you can't send cold DMs. There are ways to be strategic about it. And of course, bottom line is to have the best intention with it. Okay. So very first tip, create a value-packed post that starts a conversation. Okay. And I teach this in the Community to Cash Challenge. If you create a post in a community and people like the post or they comment on the post and they start a conversation, guess what? You could probably DM them and it would be received in a good way, and it would be perceived and received in a much better way than if there was never any interaction at all. So keep in mind that when you are utilizing social media, like, those are gateways to personal message people to start a deeper conversation based on the content of the post that they chose to engage with. Okay, so go backwards a little bit, do a little bit of prep work, create good content that people want to engage with, and then do the work in the DMs based on a shared connection that that person chose to enter into. Second thing, host a live training or mini workshop. This is good. I do this pretty frequently because, again, I like to talk, but this is another way for people to be exposed to you and how you work and the message that you're sharing, because again, you can go and message them and they already have a feel for you. Like this person, Rosa, who messaged me, if we had mutual friends, I might have been able to have a little bit more insight or context or compassion for her based on who her friends were and what I thought of her friends. But because we had zero friends in common and we were in the same Facebook group where she just found me, and it's not even the Facebook group that I spend time in, it's like that was even more cold. So don't go wasting your time messaging people that you have nothing in common with. If you do a live training or a workshop or something where a topic where people are interested in, like, that is them giving you permission to come into their lives. So start with that. I promise it will be helpful. Next one, send a genuine compliment or testimonial. This is perfect because I don't want to go too far down in the rabbit hole, but you guys know when somebody sends you a compliment and you know that they're just playing the long game. They're trying to sell you long term of like, I mean, you guys know what company comes to mind. I guess there's a lot of them now, but there was a company in the past that was like, all these girls just tried to be my friend. They tried to get into my community, and then they tried to get me to sell their workout programs and their supplements and their shakes. And it was like, I know you've been following me for a long time so that you could eventually ask me to join your team or convince me that my audience would make a great customer base for this downline. And it's like, I don't want to do that. So I want you to think about how often you might be DMing people or connecting with people through the DMs. Every once in a while, maybe like 1 in every 5 messages, send a message to somebody that you're thinking about. Just no agenda at all. Just like, hey, I've been thinking about you. I hope you're doing well, or I miss you. Like, that gives people a good breath of fresh air in their social media and in their DMs when somebody just genuinely cares about them and there's no agenda whatsoever. And in business, I mean, call it follow-up, call it client retention, whatever. But this is going to help you practice having the right intentions with what social media can be used for. So I encourage you, send a genuine compliment or send a pick-me-up, not because you're playing the long game of trying to sell people, but because you're practicing being genuine. and making social media as positive and useful as it can be. Okay. Next thing is, create a lead magnet that will attract your ideal client. Now this, again, I talk about this in the Community to Cash Challenge, but this is also cool because let's say that I create something. I did it recently. I have the template of how to use my time well. You guys have heard me say this over and over. Guess what? There's no lead magnet for this just yet. It's kind of included in the bonus section of the Becoming Boss Minded book, but eventually there's going to be a wait list for this where I share the template, and eventually I will write a book on how to use this, and you guys can buy this on Amazon and have it for you. But in the meantime, if I created a lead magnet based on this topic of how to use my time well, and if I could look at my email list and see that this person opted in and they opted in 5 months ago, and they've just been kind of moving forward in learning what boss minded is, or learning who I am, or learning about this podcast, then me DMing them is going to be very effective for connecting. And whether it be to make a sale or whether it be just to have a genuine connection, like me creating content and putting it out there and helping people is a very, very good baseline for using social media appropriately. Another one is invite people to a free challenge or series. Now this one I actually got yesterday. Somebody sent me this, and let me just read it for you because this is something that was received well, but it still was kind of like you DM'd me asking me if I wanted to buy something without asking me if I wanted to buy something. And so this person said, "Hey Marcy, I've started a podcast networking membership where business owners and podcasters get together, build relationships, and get booked, which is better than cold pitching. It's only $10 a month for a limited time for founding members." And instead of asking me, she said, "Would you know of anyone that's interested? And here's the link with more info and to join." And so, of course, I looked at it. But let me give you some context. Me and this person have met before. We've met in person and we have connected. We've done a phone call to get to know each other, and we're interested in the same things. So her cold DMing me, it's not a cold DM, but it very was like, here's a pitch. Like, I'm selling this thing and hey, do you know if anybody's interested? But this is received because there's a connection there. It's something that made sense for both of us. And this made sense because she was presenting a problem or a solution that she knows I'm interested in. So that's another thing too. Like, there are times where I've gone back to past clients and I'm like, "Hey, I made some changes to my mastermind. I just want you to know if you're ready to hop back in. I'd love to tell you about the things I've updated and what's available now." And guess what? Those clients respond and they say, "Hey, this is great. Here's what's going on in my life," or "Send me the details." That's a much better way to spend your time DMing people than sending stupid cold DMs to people you don't know with no context, okay? Let's do one more. Oh, this one is my favorite, is record a podcast episode that speaks to the specific problem. This is probably one of my favorite things to do. So if you guys are listening to this and you haven't ever requested a topic for a podcast, please do, because I love to talk and I will give you my opinion on it and I will give you some actionable steps that you can use as your loving kick in the pants. But one time in the Boss Minded Facebook group, there was somebody I came across, and I honestly can't remember how we connected. Actually, she did like a mom's market, and she came into my Facebook group, or we connected in another mom's group, and I was a vendor in her mom's market, and I just stayed in her group. And she came to my Facebook group, Boss Minded, and she made a post about, "I have some business ideas and I have this partner, and I'm also dealing with people ripping me off." And I messaged her and I said, "Tell me more about this person ripping you off, because I've been there. I know what it feels like, but I'm going to create a podcast episode all around this topic just for you." And I did. And it was great because I had good intention. I could put my information exactly where it needed to go, but she also felt heard and seen and taken care of. And we're friends. We're friends. Will she be my client one day? Maybe. She's looked into my services before. She's considered it. But at the same time, it's like we have a connection where we just support each other, and that's what it's all about. And I want you to know that social media can be one of the best, most uplifting places for you to spend your time growing your business. But please, please, please do not get up in the idea that cold DMing people is the way to go. Like, I promise you there's a better way to run your business. So I have a few more different ways to help you grow your business without cold DMing people, but I want to know your guys' feedback. I want to know how you're doing with this. I also want to know, like, your horror stories. What sort of experiences have you had that just turned you off so much that you're like, I would never do this and I don't ever want to run my business this way. So let's leave it there. I want you guys to know I absolutely love you guys. I'm so grateful that you will listen to my message because I like to talk. And the feedback that you guys give me that this is helpful and impactful for you, that just keeps me going. And I want to let you know how much I sincerely appreciate you. And if it's been a while, send me a DM. Send me a DM and let's connect once again and let me know what's going on in your life and let's be friends. All right, I'll see you guys next week for another episode of Your Loving Kick in the Pants. Thanks for tuning in, friend. If this episode gave you value, don't just keep it to yourself. Share it with someone in your circle who's ready to wake up, show up, and grow their business without sacrificing what matters most. When you do, you're not just helping them, you're building your network of like-minded leaders. And I'll say this plainly, leaving a kind review matters more than you know. It helps more people find the show and it keeps the momentum going. So pause for a moment and please drop that review. Lastly, if there's a topic you want me to cover, I want to hear from you. Reach out because this podcast is for you and I'm here to serve. Until next time, stay boss-minded.